Am I the asshole for not leaving the bathroom when a child needed it? Hey everybody. This sounds kind of stupid to me, but maybe my perspective is wrong. My friend roommate M30s, who we can call Kevin, has an 11-year-old daughter who we can call Rachel. For context purposes, she has no physical disabilities or bladder control issues. She doesn't live with us full time, but she does come every other weekend and on some weekends for visitation. Every time she does, she's always expecting people to do a lot of stuff for her that she could do herself, such as my dad will carry my stuff, get my drinks, plate my food, give me some of his drink food after I finished mine because he loves me. This came to the point where Kevin actually finally told her last night that she can stop coloring for long enough to get her own water. We live in a 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom. When I F20s went in this morning to brush my teeth, Rachel came over and said she needed to use the bathroom. I told her to wait and that she can't try to kick me out every time she wants to pee. This was at least the 4th time she's done so this weekend. Kevin tried to tell me that I should leave so that she can use the bathroom because using the toilet takes priority over everything else. To be clear, she came in while I was already in the process and not asking once she saw me. She waited for a maximum of 2.5 minutes. Once I was out, Kevin and I had a brief discussion in which he expressed that he felt it was inappropriate for me to make either him or Rachel wait when I was not physically using the toilet. My stance is that if someone is doing a short task, they are there first, and it is not an emergency, they should wait their turn. This seemed to be the common rule of shared bathrooms to me. But maybe I was wrong. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You were there first. It wasn't an emergency. She has done this before a handful of times. And brushing your teeth is a short task, so she wouldn't have to wait long. Whether or not she had an emergency, I, myself, and everyone else in my household have to abide by this rule too. Unless it is an emergency. So it's nothing major here to cause a problem. You're not the asshole. Kevin and Rachel need to learn that the world does not revolve around her. I told her to wait and that she can't try to kick me out every time she wants to pee. This was at least the 4th time she's done so this weekend. Funny how her urgent need to use the toilet seems connected to you already being in the bathroom. Sounds like she just gets a kick out of bossing people around. Additional information that a friend of mine thought that it was important to mention. I was already in the process of brushing my teeth when she came over and asked me to leave. She said that she didn't have to go badly, but she did notice that she had to go when she heard me going in. When you use the bathroom, close the door. Not their business what you are doing in there. Lock it for good measure. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If she were a 3-year-old in the midst of potty training, it'd be different. She's old enough to wait a few minutes. Nope. Time to learn respect. Manners. Go in bathroom and shut and lock door. If they knock, tell them you're using the bathroom and will be out as soon as you're done. If they keep knocking, tell them to EF off and quit being rude. When you're done, flush toilet and wash hands and leave. And no, it doesn't matter if you are actually using the toilet. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. My 5-year-old knows to wait for the bathroom. We have 5 people and 1 bathroom. The child needs to learn, should have learned already. So does her father. Here's a flowchart for you. Ask her, is it an emergency? Yes, come on in. I'll finish brushing my teeth in the hallway. No, I'll be done in a minute. You don't need the little girl to soil herself. In ATP, she's basically a 3rd roommate who's not paying rent. She's trying to flex on you. Time to practice bladder control. Not the asshole, but a good rule of thumb when going to use the bathroom: ask the household if anyone needs to use the toilet. We did this growing up with 3 people sharing one bathroom. I do this now, even sharing a bathroom with one kid. 4 times in one weekend? At this point she's definitely doing it on purpose for attention, to be a brat. Kevin is doing that child no favors. You're not the asshole. Did she pee herself? I'm edging with not the asshole, with the caveat that she doesn't have some sort of UTI or cystitis type thing going on. That means she's triggered by taps running and needs to pee frequently. Been there. Not fun. She and him can hold it. If he doesn't like it, then he needs to get his own place. Do the same to them. Get out of the shower cause the toilet takes precedence. Your roommate probably gets sick of you banging on the door. Not the asshole. Honestly, I would get a new roommate. His daughter's behaviors are too much to handle. I would look for someone child-free. Not the asshole unless it's an emergency. This little girl is yanking her dad's anyone else's who happens to be around. Dad better do a reality-esque creating a monster. She's a brat. Not the asshole. She did this 4 or more times over the course of a weekend. That's just her being a jerk. Is she familiar with the boy that cried wolf? One time she's going to actually have a bathroom emergency and no one is going to believe her. If she noticed she had to go when you went in, she should have ran out and said, "Hey, before you brush your teeth, do you mind if I pee really quickly?" Not mid-brushing walking in and demanding you give up the bathroom immediately. She sounds like she needs to learn that the world doesn't revolve around her. Not the asshole. It's fascinating that she always needs to use the bathroom as soon as you are using the bathroom. She's manipulative, plain and simple, and she's pushing boundaries to see how far she can go. Lock the door from now on. Not the asshole. She's being a weird little control freak. Not the asshole. You were in the bathroom first and doing a task that takes a couple of minutes at max. She needs to learn that she has to wait, and her dad needs to make it clear she can't force you to do things for her. You're not her parent or guardian. She sounds a bit sly, like she's doing this on purpose. Whether that's true or not. Not the asshole. Time to move out. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Make sure you close the door and lock it when you are in there. Not the asshole. Time for the kid to learn manners and how to behave in society. Not the asshole. The girl could wait a minute for you to finish. Not the asshole. You are using the bathroom. They can damn well learn to wait. 11 years old isn't a toddler with potty issues. Or shouldn't be. Not the asshole. You were there first. It's simple. If Rachel thinks that she can just get into the bathroom regardless of who's there already, then she's in for a rude awakening when she learns about public bathrooms. Not the asshole. Except in emergencies. Bathrooms are first come first serve. If you were doing something that could be done outside of the bathroom, or something time consuming, fair enough. But you were brushing your teeth. It's not a long wait. The kid needs to learn that the world does not revolve around her. Her dad apparently needs to learn the same thing. You were there first, brushing your teeth, and it wasn't an emergency. The kid can wait. Simple as that. Not the asshole. Unless she was close to losing bladder control, there's no reason she can't wait 2 minutes for someone else who was in the bathroom first to finish what they're doing. Not the asshole. I have a potty training toddler that can only hold his pee for like 10 seconds, and I still wouldn't expect people to run out for him. He is my child. My responsibility. If I shared living quarters or was in public, then that's just something we charge to the game. The world doesn't revolve around me and my personal needs, and I think a lot of people are not teaching their children that. Am I the asshole for telling off my Bill who keeps purposefully scaring our baby? Me and my husband have 3 kids together. 2 girls and a boy. Our youngest is the boy. He's just over a year old. My husband's brother, we'll call him Uncle G, is married with 4 girls 27 yo. They have always wanted a boy and continue having babies in hopes they'll have a boy. So far no luck. Ever since having our youngest son, Uncle G has antagonized him every time we've seen him, which is roughly once a month since baby J was about 2 months old. He'll do things like jump out from behind a corner and scream loudly in his face, lock eyes with him in a staring contest, and then yell loudly to scare him or throw him up in the air, which he hates. I can only assume his intention is to make him cry because that is always the outcome. We never leave a get-together with Uncle G without him having made baby J cry at least once. Every time I see him do it, I'll intervene, take baby J away, and make a comment ranging from mild to moderate shaming. Something like, "Can you stop please?" Single quote. "You're the only person he cries around." Or, "Gee, I don't think he likes that." We also limit our time around their family for this and other reasons. The last time Uncle G scared him so bad that every time baby J looked at him for the rest of the evening he broke down in tears. Uncle G's reasoning was, life is tough. I'm teaching him he needs to be tough. That'll teach him to have a stare down with me. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I already make comments when it happens and it hasn't changed his behavior. I ask my husband to say something and he just shrugs and says the natural consequence for Uncle G is that baby J just won't like him. Is that enough? Am I the asshole for calling him out on it and expecting my husband should say something or not? You are allowing your Bill to keep your baby in a state of constant fear every time you see him. Is this how you want your child to see the world? Stop letting him abuse your son. If Bill is not capable of appropriate behavior, protect your child and never let them be together. YWBTA if this continues. Edited to add, and please do everything you can to protect his children and maybe their mother. God only knows what a dangerous ass he is to his family behind closed doors. No, that's not enough of a consequence. Your baby is being abused by his uncle. You're the asshole for allowing it to continue. Stop seeing this man. P.S. Life isn't supposed to be tough for a 1-year-old. Uncle is an AH2 obviously. With all due disrespect, you have not told off your Bill at all. You and your husband have repeatedly put your child in front of his abuser and don't seem to care. Enough. Stop visiting. Stop interacting with your husband's family until he does something. Please seriously protect your child from that monster, who I assume is acting this way because he's upset you've got a boy when he doesn't. Why the EF have you allowed this? I would have chewed out that the first time he did this. I don't think he likes that WTF. It should have been, Bill, what the hell is wrong with you? Don't you ever do that again. You and your partner have effing allowed this to torture your child. Holy shit. Be better parents. Get this creep away from your baby. Jesus Christ, yes, you are an asshole for not protecting your kid who is doing whatever he can to request this from you. Life is tough. It gives me instant face punching rage. Not to say that you should get physical with him. Mind. But this Neanderthal has you doubting yourself? Unacceptable. What in the actual fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. Are you completely lacking in protective instincts? Do not bring your baby around him. Ever. Period. You're already a massive for continuing to bring your baby around him when you yourself are intimidated by him. As said in another comment. And since your husband won't tell this grown man he's related to get the fuck away from his baby, he's a giant as well. All three of you are traumatizing that baby. All three. Fix it now before your son's development is permanently damaged by his abuse. Jesus fucking Christ. And another thing. How will he escalate this behavior when your son is older? Are none of the other adults saying anything, or is Uncle G extra special for everyone? Do you know the story about baby Albert? This is essentially what he's doing. Terrorizing your child. Obviously Uncle sucks the worst, followed by your husband, and then you. You and your husband need to shut this shit down. Babies aren't supposed to be in fight or flight. This often he's literally building his neuro pathways, and this trauma is damaging that process. Put it to a stop now. If you won't stop, you stop going with the baby. Info op: why the hell are you letting someone who deliberately goes out of his way to upset your child be around your child? Not the asshole. Tell your husband, Uncle G, the next time anyone purposely tries to scare the baby cries. You're going to punch both of them in the nuts. Tell them to toughen up. Seriously though, allowing your kids to be frightened by your family is a terrible idea. What happens when baby gets hurts from trying away from Uncle G? You're the asshole for allowing a bully to repeatedly victimize your kid while you wait for your husband to step in and defend him. YTA for letting this go on for so long and only mild and moderate shaming. It is long past the time for Uncle G to no longer spend any time with baby J. Physically put yourself between your child and this abuser. I suggest carrying a squirt bottle and spray him any time he just looks at your baby. If anyone asks, you won't tolerate anyone abusing your children. Use harsh language. This behavior could have far more lasting and traumatic consequences in the future beyond baby J. Not liking Uncle G. Not the asshole for calling out G's behavior. Not the asshole, and it is high time. X200B. You are Oz for not protecting your son. X200B. You just stand at the sideline and let his uncle abuse him again and again? That's disgusting. Not the asshole. But you will be if you don't put your foot down. Gee, I don't think he likes that. Isn't going to cut it. This is your kid. Calmly but firmly say, stop tormenting my son or you won't be allowed to be around him anymore. THB. I think your biggest problem is your husband. And the fact that he's not willing to stand up for you and your son. Make it clear to him that you won't be around his family if this continues. Accept your poor baby. My heart breaks thinking about how scared he is, and you and your worthless husband just keep letting your asshole Bill terrorize him. Both of you need to step the fuck up and parent and keep your goddamn abusive Bill the fuck away from the vulnerable child in your care who is your responsibility. Not the asshole. But I'd really put my foot down firmly. Your Bill is sadistic. And your child needs to be defended. Your husband should be the one to stand up and tell him he will not be allowed to terrorize your baby. It's really odd to me that he's so nonchalant about his brother doing this. If your husband won't stand up for your baby, I think it's time for you and the kids to stay home from any event Bill attends. And for Bill to be banned from your home. If your husband doesn't like it, I'd ask him why he cares more about his adult brother's feelings than his infant son's. Don't allow that man inside your home and get your partner to put his abusive brother in his place. Things like this can mess up a kid for life. You're the asshole for letting it continue. You didn't put your foot down but just politely request he doesn't. If your husband won't protect his child, you take the child away. Out of the house. When you see dear uncle enter the home, protect your child. You're the asshole for brining you kid there. Am I the asshole? For telling my siblings that we have to practice saving food for everyone else. My mom passed away 2 months ago, and my fiancé and I quickly became the sole guardians of my 3 younger siblings, 16, 14, and 11. As much as I loved my mom, I know how hard it was growing up under her and how we didn't have a lot. So when I left for college, I did feel guilty leaving my siblings there knowing they wouldn't have much. But I did so for this very reason. So that I could make enough money to get a house that allowed me to house all of them if needed. They understood why I had chosen to go away to college and didn't resent me for leaving them there. Which I'm so grateful for. I called everyone down and explained to them that I will never restrict access to any food from them. However, they needed to be 100% considerate of everyone else in the house who also needed to have access to the same food and snacks as them. I told them that we were going to start learning about portion control and saving food for others. And they all said that they understood, and that was sort of the gist of it all. The reason I'm asking if I'm Ta because I went to my group for other people who have the same situation as me and talked about it. And another group member told me that I was being a terrible person by controlling what they ate. And that I was going to give them an ED. I am absolutely not trying to control their eating habits. I'm just trying to make sure everyone eats. Am I the asshole? If I am, I will absolutely apologize to them and find ways to help. If in the US, you might be able to file for survivor benefits through Social Security for the kids. You're doing great. Not the asshole, and maybe you can reach out to the nearest food bank and supplement the food that you buy. Teenagers are very expensive to feed. Use the resources in your community to help. I donate regularly to my local food bank because I want people in my community to not have to worry about feeding their families. Families like yours are exactly why I donate. Not the asshole. And you aren't going to give them an ED by teaching them moderation. I know what it is like having to help teenagers and kids to learn this lesson. And it isn't easy. But it is definitely worth it. Food guarding can lead to the same behaviors spilling over into other areas. One child literally tried guarding everything in the home that was a specific color, including their sister's underwear. Good luck. And keep working with your brothers, they will eventually get it. If you live in the US, your siblings could qualify for Social Security benefits. That may help with the extra expenses. Because they have dealt with food insecurity. That may be a difficult thing to break. Are they receiving any kind of counseling? They could get that through the school. Others have suggested food banks which could help with the food budget. You and your fiancé are doing a fine job taking in your siblings and caring for them. Not the asshole. Nah. Food insecurity doesn't disappear because food is more plentiful now. If anything, it can ratchet up the impulse to as much as you can when the food is available in case the food goes away again. So what your siblings are doing now is absolutely normal and expected for people in their position. It's going to take time before they start to feel truly secure. Not the asshole, but to add. Are the kids and/or all of you in therapy to process this transition? If the food thing continues to be an issue, the therapist may be able to get this point across in a safe way. Not the asshole. You aren't trying to control what they eat, only how much they eat. Since there are others in the house also. One idea might be to portion out the snacks to each of them and emphasize to them that once their portion is gone, that's it. They get no more. Since the other portions belong to the others in the house. If you have a pack of 50 cookies, portion them out into 10 cookies per Ziploc bag. And then put each person's name on the bag. Not the asshole, even if those cookies were split between 3 kids. Eating that whole pack is absolutely fucking excessive. Nah. Food insecurity is rough. Going to be a difficult road going forward. Not really sure what's the best way to handle a situation like this. Just be mindful not to do anything to make things worse. Not the asshole, and you've done a kind thing. Not the asshole. I hope you can get extra government support towards their costs though. Given your mother died and they're minors, there should be some sort of pension towards them. Not the asshole. In addition to a food bank or pantry, you may see if the kids are eligible for some kind of assistance, food stamps or the like. Instead of buying pre-made cookies, what about buying the ingredients and one day a week, bake something? I do understand baking ingredients can add up. Over time it will end up cheaper and maybe a way for everyone to work together for something everyone can enjoy. Plus it may help for them to know what day each week or so there will be cookies. Not the asshole. I understand why you don't want to restrict access, but you may need to shop more frequently for smaller AMTs until they learn to self-regulate. You can tell them over and over and they can understand intellectually. But they probably don't actually know when they are full or how much food is enough. And it will take time for them to learn. More than days or weeks. Have you looked into government assistance? I should think that as guardians of 3 minors, if you're in the US, you should be able to get SNAP benefits. Not the asshole. You did the right thing, but it will take them a while to adjust. Hugs. AITA et al. $10 per person per day used wisely should keep everyone well fed. I get why they went crazy on the valuable resources cookies after growing up with a deficit of food. That's normal and to be expected. It's okay to be upset about it. Helping your siblings past these behaviors will take more than a few conversations though. If you can get affordable counseling as a group, then I strongly suggest it. There are going to be a lot of emotions to unpack for you all. Guidance will help. Not the asshole. My kids are not food insecure in any way and still eat like it's the last time they ever will. I have talks with them about portions and self-control. It's a healthy thing to do to have some boundaries, like not eating 3-4 ice creams in one sitting. Just because it's the favorite and they want to make sure they get their share. AITA. One thing that helps me is having specific snacks that are just mine. So maybe they can each have a shelf or basket with just their snacks that no one else can take. Divide it up and make sure they all have some, and then keep it so they don't have to worry it will be there when they go back. You can also get survivors' Social Security for the 3 young ones. Just wanting to send condolences to you and your family. You're doing an amazing thing. You're absolutely not the asshole, and I hope that you're holding up okay and have had your own time to grieve. If your siblings are used to being food insecure, they may be hoarding food. I am absolutely not trying to control their eating habits. Yes, you are. This is necessary until they learn to ration themselves. Kudos to you for stepping up. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. As a kid who grew up poor and without food often, I get they are resource guarding and need helping learning how to control this desire. Also, get food stamps. Steer your new younglings toward healthy snacks like fruits and cunningly disguised veggies, e.g. celery sticks with peanut butter. Find out what they like. Produce is cheaper than chips and better nutrition. The fiber in fruit satisfies hunger over a longer period than refined carbs. You are an amazing sibling who is doing amazingly while grieving. This is a tragedy, but your siblings will be okay because of you. Many families have to be tight with food budgets. This massive responsibility was just thrust upon you suddenly. The fact that you're being intentional, conscious, and thoughtful is everything. Not the asshole. You can't give them an eating disorder. They already have one or something like it with regards to resource guarding. They likely need professional help. You are a terrific sibling and I hope you can get them help.
Am I the asshole for not attending my sister's wedding? My sister is getting married at the end of this month on the same day as my child's first birthday party. My wife scheduled it for this day because it's the only day certain family on her side can come. She also locked this date in before we knew her wedding would be then. My sister and I aren't close, but last year I had a major fallout with my parents and am not on speaking terms with them. My parents have also never met my child. I made a point to sit down with my sister last year while I was having problems with my parents to make sure she knew I didn't have a problem with her. Since then she's still kept me updated about major points in her life. She started dating the guy last September, he proposed in April. I had never met her fiancé when he proposed. I haven't been attending any family gatherings, so in May my sister asked if we could all go out to lunch. The whole thing was pretty normal first meeting type stuff, but otherwise not unpleasant. About halfway through her fiancé got up to go to the restroom, and my sister asked if there was any chance that our parents could meet my child. I said that I didn't want to discuss that at that time. She got very quiet and we tried to move on to other topics. She then asked if we would be going to her wedding. At this point I had already been feeling conflicted about it, because I didn't want to be the cause of any drama at her wedding. My wife said that she was sorry but we had already planned our child's birthday for that day, so it wouldn't work. My sister seemed upset but let it go and we awkwardly finished lunch and left. My wife pointed out that it felt to her like the whole thing was just out of obligation and that it seemed like my sister just wanted to ask those questions and the rest was normal fluff. She also pointed out that my sister basically ignored our child the whole time other than saying how big they've gotten, which is very out of character for her. She loves babies. I felt like I wanted to explain that I don't want to stir the pot and that I don't trust my parents to not do that if I show up, but since she seemed upset I figured I should give her space. The next time I saw my sister and her fiancé was at my youngest sibling's baptism in July. I went by myself since my youngest brother specifically asked me to come, and all they said was "Hi, nice to see you" before walking away. Since then my sister hasn't spoken to me at all, so I feel like I've offended her. I feel like an for not at least trying to go for a little and support her. I've also been trying to decide if I should get them a gift or if that would complicate things. I know I feel guilty any time I find something my parents have given me, and I've even had to make myself get rid of some of the wedding gifts they gave us because I get too many mixed feeling. I don't want to put her in a similar position, but I feel like enough for not doing something for them or at least explaining myself. Not the asshole. I am seeing two things here. 1. Your sister had a fantasy that her wedding would lead to some grand reconciliation between you and your parents, and she now sees you as the block to her family being together, so she's distancing herself from you. 2. You sensed that your presence at the wedding could be disruptive and so you declined. That is your right, an invitation is not a summons. Send a nice, heartfelt gift with a note of apology that you won't be able to be there, and enjoy the day with the family you chose. Info: were the family members you're close with aware of the planned party date as well and now caught between deciding which event to go to? It sounds like the party was mainly scheduled around your wife's family with limited regard for your own. Although given the relationship you have with them, sounds like that may have happened anyway. I don't necessarily think you're the but it's worth a conversation with all the family you may have invited that now have to decide between the events. Seems like the collateral damage would more so be on that front than anywhere else and they may have some guilt resentment about choosing. If not for the birthday party, would you want to go to the wedding? You're the asshole. The baby isn't going to know that the date isn't on her birthday. The first birthday party is entirely about the adults. Just move it. Info: did your wife plan the party incredibly early or did your sister send out save the dates or invites late? Aren't save the dates and invites sent out months in advance? Not the asshole. If you go and there's a bunch of drama, your sister will likely blame you for that also. She's going to be mad either way, so just stay with your family and enjoy the birthday party. I would definitely send a gift with a card explaining why though. Maybe she doesn't fully understand that you're trying to protect her from all the drama between you and your parents. Especially if she talks to them a lot, they've probably spun a tale for her. I would love to know the drama with your parents, but that's 'cause I'm nosy. It wouldn't affect my vote. Honestly, not the asshole, and it's kind of bizarre at all these whiteier comments because, like, if you go and your parents start something, I'm sure as hell you'll be blamed for that because you tore the family apart. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I know this might be unpopular, but I think not the asshole. You said yourself that your wife chose this date before knowing about your sister's wedding. I think this has more to do with the wedding than the fact that it's your kid's birthday party. I also feel like, based on everything you said, that if you go to this wedding then it might cause a lot of drama considering your relationship with the rest of your family. I think there's a chance your sister thought that you can make peace with the rest of your family if you show up to her wedding, but chances are if you show up then things might go badly and you might get blamed for that. Nata, you literally had a prior obligation. Plus that side of the family seems horrid. Why can't you participate in the wedding and the party? You don't have to be at the party the entire time. Your kid isn't going to notice. Nor care. Why you gotta be estranged with your family? What's the story? Why can't you all talk it out? It's your sister's wedding, bro. Very crazy to miss it over a birthday the baby isn't going to remember. You're the asshole. You are going to regret not going. Reschedule the birthday party. A birthday party does not take precedence over a wedding. I think you are coming up with lots of excuses to not go. Your difficulty with your parents is not a good reason to miss your sister's wedding. And yes, get them a gift regardless. You have very strange rationalizations, to be honest. Your sister is distracted because that is what happens when you're planning a wedding. It's basically all you think about. Not the asshole. Your immediate family is always going to be more important than your extended family. Not the asshole. You're allowed to want to celebrate your child no matter how much they'll remember. Not the asshole, because these whiteier votes sort of lack reading comprehension. 1. The birthday party was scheduled before OP was even invited. 2. OP has his own family now. 3. This is my take on the post. He's North Carolina largely due to the behavior of his parents, which will most likely bleed into his sister's wedding and probably be a scapegoat for whatever fallout comes from it. I'd avoid it too. Not the asshole. You get to accept or decline any invitation for any reason. Even without the birthday party conflict, I don't think you would want to go to this wedding. And that's perfectly fine. Just remember that with any decision you make, there will be consequences, whether good or bad. If you can live with those either way, then you have your answer. Going against the grain and voting not the asshole. Why? Because people are focusing on its GUSD his FIRST by RTHDA and totally missing the point that you're North Carolina with your parents and LC with your sister. This isn't about the birthday, it's about the fact that you're choosing not to engage with toxic family members. And apparently, some Redditors take issue with that. You're the asshole. But not for not attending the wedding. I don't know your family situation, and if it is a toxic environment you are right not to attend it. But you are enough for giving all sorts of bullshit reasoning. Kid's birthday, certain members of your wife's family are available only for that particular day, your sister not showing affection to your kids all are bullshit. None of these are the reason of your not going. Please be honest to yourself. I don't have a good relationship with my family and my wife, and I don't want to attend my sister's wedding. All other info seems unnecessary. Not the asshole. The important part is the ceremony. Arrange to go and hang back until everyone else is seated, then quietly sit at the back or away from your parents, then slip out quietly once the ceremony has finished and go celebrate your child's birthday. Not the asshole. She wants you there so your parents can see your child. That's it. Don't go. Send them a gift. Am I the asshole? My wife discovered that I keep calendar reminders to ask her about stuff going on in her life. Pretty much what the title says. My wife has always been really good about staying aware of things happening in my life that I care about and periodically checking in with me to see how they're going. You know, basic loving, caring partner stuff. I have found that showing her that same consideration does not always come naturally to me. I would say I am a fairly self-centered person. I wish that weren't the case, but in retrospect a lot of bad behavior on my part was not corrected and even enabled when I was young. By the time I realized this character flaw, I was already well into adulthood, and I have found that old habits die hard. I don't think I'm that bad. Of course, sometimes I do remember that she was having that big meeting at work today, or that her aunt was having a surgery or whatever, and I ask about it over dinner. But more often than I am proud to admit, I get lost in my stuff and forget about hers. So a couple years ago I started setting reminders in my calendar so I wouldn't forget. Needless to say, I did not tell her I was doing this. Until now it's worked really well. Often I don't even need the reminder, just creating it helps the event stick in my active memory. But the other night she saw one of my reminders. She has a potentially painful dental procedure later this week. FYI. We both happened to be looking at something on my phone when it popped up. Needless to say, she was surprised. I had no choice but to explain the whole situation. I wouldn't say she thinks I'm a full-blown asshole. But she definitely found it weird and off-putting that I would need a system like that when she doesn't and nobody else does. I kind of agree with her. It never felt like a deep dark secret, but on the other hand there's obviously a reason I never told her or anyone else I was doing it. Still, taking action to make sure I show consideration and concern for stuff that matters to her has to be better than continuing to forget, right? Am I an asshole? X200B. Nah. I think it's really sweet that you took the steps to help your wife feel valued. I'd sit your wife down and let her know that this has helped you engage with her more and to learn more about how she's feeling. It's not like you've scripted a conversation, you've just helped to ensure that you'll actually have it. Many couples don't. 1. You realized your flaw and took action to fix it. 2. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be doing it. 3. Even if you do remember, it's not always the right time. I remember a lot of things when I'm driving, making dinner, showering or going to bed at night. Those aren't the times to write the email or check on whatever it was. A reminder in the phone prompts you at times when these things can be addressed. So while she might not like it, the fact is you are making an effort. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Some people are just bad with dates and events. And it's always recommended that they try to figure out a reminder system. You did just that. You may feel self-centered, but you actually go out of your way to make notes of stuff, so you can bring it up later. You could just ignore it and laugh it off like many do, that it's just how I am type of stuff. Not the asshole. I wish my husband would do this. Nah. I'm just going on a theory here, but you were probably told that you were self-centered when you were a kid, because you couldn't remember things. With your reminder system, it sounds to me like you're neurodivergent and that someone mislabeled you, in your childhood. A self-centered person wouldn't make those reminders. Not the asshole. Taking the effort to add these occasions to your calendar and set reminders is showing genuine consideration. Just because it's different from how she naturally remembers doesn't mean it's any less valuable. Not the asshole. If more people were as self-aware as you are and would put in the thought and effort to overcome problem areas, the world would be a better place. Nah. My husband put reminders in his calendar for things like buy a clismic candy hearts because we don't do Valentine's, but I love those conversation hearts everyone hates. He gets them for me every year. At some point our stupid iCloud account got intertwined and some reminders now pop up on my phone. I never told him because I think it is really sweet that he cares enough to set the reminder. And I want my gross chalky hearts. Not the asshole. I have ADHD, and I have to set reminders for literally everything. You can't help it if you struggle to remember these details. You found a workaround because you care about your wife and want to remember. I think that's pretty sweet. Not the asshole. I am a mother, I lose track with everything, I have to have reminders and I don't take it as I don't care, it's just I'm forgetful. I think taking the time to do the reminders shows that you care and are attentive. Not the asshole. To me this just shows how much you actually do care. Not the asshole at all, and your wife needs to reevaluate her position. Yes, there are people who are naturally better at keeping track of things, events, but that's just it comes natural to most of them. Most aren't putting in a ton of effort to do it. You, on the other hand, are putting in a lot of effort because it doesn't come naturally to you. That makes you the top echelon of the can't remember shit population. Your wife needs to talk to some people with spouses who can't keep track of anything, don't care, and don't do anything about it. Maybe then she will appreciate your efforts. Not the asshole. You sound like you figured out a flaw, and that sounds harsh, I know. I just couldn't come up with a better word and have taken steps to correct it. If you need a reminder to ask about something, it really isn't that different than someone needing multiple reminders to pick up the dry cleaning or knowing that they need multiple alarms so they're on time. It shows you're trying to overcome some selfishness and be a good partner. While remembering things about your partner is really important, I am going to say not the asshole. You are at least trying to meet her love language and care. As you have always been like this, the fact that you are making the effort, I would think she would appreciate. Nobody else does. Hate to burst her bubble, but lots of neurodiverse people, myself included, have reminders like that. Not saying you're ND, but she needs to understand that not everyone's brain works the same as hers, and if you care enough to find an accommodation workaround that works, she needs to stop with the judgment. It's not a moral failing, she's not a better person than you, BCS, she naturally remembers these things, she doesn't care more, your brains are literally just wired differently. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It's like on a math test. You got the correct answer a different way than the teacher wanted, so it's wrong or half credit. It's so dumb. When she doesn't and nobody else does. Nobody else does? How does she know that? She knows everyone on Earth? Even the people she does know, she wouldn't have any idea if they have some kind of similar system to help them with any aspect of their life. You took the care and effort to make a system that works for you, ensuring you could be the husband that both of you want you to be. Everyone's memory and brain work differently, and there's no morality or assholery about it. Not the asshole it would be now, but her presumptive dismissiveness about what nobody does or doesn't do rubbed me the wrong way. You'd be the if you didn't recognize your flaws and you didn't do anything about it. You're not alone, I do the same. Not the asshole. I think you are being a caring and thoughtful partner. She may be able to remember everything, lots of people don't or can't, and you are actively trying to show up for her. You are 100 awesome. Not the asshole. You recognized an area where you lacked, and took steps to compensate for said lack. The fact that you take extra time to set up the reminders is proof of how much you love and care for your wife. Not the asshole. You have trouble remembering things, so you have a system in place to make sure you do. That is a good thing. Everybody is different. Some are better at remembering things, some worse. But if she thinks you taking steps to remember stuff for her sake is weird and off-putting, then fuck her. I would be excited as my husband just forgets. Not the asshole. As someone with undiagnosed memory issues, I forget about a lot of really important things. You acknowledge your problem, and are working to be better. I think it's super sweet that you even care enough to set reminders to check in on her and her important affairs, not the cheating kind. That she thinks it's weird and no one else does is sad to say the least, and I'm sorry she feels that way about an active attempt to maintain communication in the relationship. Hopefully this will blow over and she will see it for the sweetness it is. Am I the asshole? For not allowing my mill to use the bathtub in our primary bedroom? Obviously this a throwaway because I don't want it tracked back to me. A little background information first. I barely have a relationship with my Mill because since we got engaged she has been a nightmare to deal with. She constantly meddles, stomps boundaries, is very judgmental and takes no responsibility for her actions. We were North Carolina with her for nearly a year, but since my husband resumed contact due to my Phil having a health scare she has been on her best behavior. That is until last weekend. This morning she texted my husband asking if I was ready to apologize to her for making her trip miserable and making her feel unwelcome. I have her blocked again. Am I the asshole? For not just letting her use the bathtub? Not the asshole, she was pushing boundaries again. Your husband is a gem. You didn't ruin her trip, she did. By pushing boundaries and private spaces. Not the asshole. I'm glad your husband has your back because it doesn't seem like she's going to ever be able to stay on her best behavior for long. Not the asshole, laughing here, because Mill was apparently just itching to go through your things. Mill is the queen of obvious. Has she always been unbelievably mature, or do you suspect cognitive decline? To answer your question, there is no reason a guest should be hell-bent on bathing in your personal bathtub even if it was lined with clouds and spewed champagne fairy dust. Not the asshole. Your house, your bathroom. If there wasn't another bathroom to use, sure, she could use yours after she asked. Not the asshole. You can have whatever boundaries you want in your own home. Not using a private bathroom is a perfectly reasonable one. Ew, what? No thank you madam, sorry but I think it is rude AF. Your home is not a hotel. If she wants bathtub amenities then she can go to the hotel and receive them. She is the one who made the trip miserable because she is the one who rudely overstepped her bounds. Not the asshole, Obviously not the asshole. It was nice of you to open your home to her, you do not need to open your private room to her. Not the asshole. Mill is way out of bounds. Sounds like a timeout is in order at the minimum. Not the asshole. You did nothing wrong. And a polite guest, if they wanted to use something like the master bath, would have approached you and asked for permission first. She was basically up to her old tricks again, seeing if this warming was you backing down on your old position and seeing if she could establish dominance over you. Good for you for not backing down and good for your husband for not backing down. You did not make her feel unwelcome, she abused your hospitality. Ha 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 ha, not the asshole, it's North Carolina time. The entitlement. Nope, not the asshole. In fact, congrats on now having another reason to go North Carolina with her entitled ass. Not the asshole, and do not apologize. She's not entitled to use your bathroom, whether her room has one or not. Good thing you caught her because I bet she would have just gone in there and used it without asking. Not the asshole. Is your bathtub special? Like a whirlpool tub or a big soaking tub? If so, I can see why she'd ask to use it. But it's definitely okay to say I'd prefer you didn't. Not the asshole. Time to lay a new boundary. They're never staying in your house again, or allowed in it unsupervised. And no visit at all until she apologizes for her tantrum. Wow, no, not the asshole at all. This lady is loony. How dare you stop her from going though your stuff? What kind of beast are you? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She was a bad guest, you weren't a bad host. They ended up leaving early. And, problem solved. Not the asshole. Not the asshole X10000000. The audacity to tell you she's using your tub when she's roped up and ready to go is astonishing. Congratulations on being an adult and not stooping to petty levels like my brain. No Mill, you may not use our tub because my giant pulsating dragon dildo for your son is stuck to the side and I don't want to damage your frail sensitivities. Not the asshole. Sounds like Mill. She came for a visit and went snooping in my bedroom. The only reason I knew she was in there was because she made my bed, which means that she also found my vibrator. The next time she came to town, I had a lock put on my bedroom so that she couldn't enter it at will. We haven't spoken for a year, but that's another story. Not the asshole. Just tell her she was a bad guest, and until she learns how to behave properly she can stay at hotels next time. Lol no BC, my husband isn't even allowed to use my bathroom. Why would I allow my mill to use it? Yup, I'm that petty. If he can't clean it he can't use it. Lol. Not the asshole. This is a power play from her. Fuck that stupid cow. If my kids had a really cool tub in their ensuite bathroom, I'd politely ask if I could use it, and accept a no. But, they would actually let me, because I wouldn't snoop, and they know that. Respect works that way. Not the asshole. She just wanted extended time in your bedroom with a locked door to snoop. Double check your birth control, as Mrs. I have the right to be a grandma may have snuck in at another time and messed with it. Man, I was so worried we were going to have a story where the husband is spineless and agreed with his mommy, but your husband is a gem. Not the asshole. Op, and your mill sounds like a nightmare. Is it possible to cut contact with her and keep contact with Phil? Not the asshole. And another wonderful guest starring shot by a Reddit daughter-in-law who won't take boundaries stomping from a mill. Bravo also to the husband who backed her up. Mill, supposedly on good behavior after the last dust-up, was only biding her time, consulting with her goblin minions, learning the latest incantations, buying potions now with lanolin. She thought and thought. Where to attack? The bathroom in the master bedroom. But OP was ready. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Have your husband tell her you'll apologize when she apologizes for her behavior for being a poor guest in your home. She knew it was a boundary for you and wanted to cross it to prove she is more important. Dear Mill, Hilton, Marriott and Four Seasons, to name a few, have cool bathtubs. Call them. Not the asshole. She was definitely stomping all over your boundaries. Next time, make them stay in a hotel. Talk it over with your husband now and get him on board. Not the asshole, but I'd go no contact again. This was a test, and Mill failed it. If she can't respect a boundary as simple as guests are not allowed in the master bedroom, then she doesn't deserve to stay in your home. Not the asshole. I mean, obviously not. Hopefully, you can continuing being LC. Not the asshole. I can't help but think she was angling for another opportunity to snoop in your bedroom bathroom. Why demand to use the master ensuite when your guest room has one of its own? It's a pity your Phil is caught in the middle of all this. Not the asshole. She was asserting dominance over your personal space and boundary stomping. No apology necessary. Mill screwed up her own trip. If she wants to be a brat, keep her blocked. Way too long in the tooth to be behaving like a belligerent toddler past nap time. Not the asshole. I think she wanted to snoop around in your stuff again, and it wouldn't surprise me if she did something like taking a dump in your bathtub. Not the asshole. No, she is trying to stomp boundaries again and go snooping again. Hold your ground. You dealt well with this kind of stuff. She was rude and nosy. It has less to do with the tub and more to do with an opportunity to lock the door and rifle through your medicine chest. Not the asshole. Being a guest in someone's home doesn't mean you get to make really unreasonable demands of your hosts and have them honored. Not the asshole. I will be locking all doors when the in-laws come to visit. Not the asshole. She was testing your resolve and was probably planning to go through your medicine cabinet. Not the asshole. 100 Did you post the story of you going North Carolina on Reddit because the story sounds super familiar? Not the asshole. She rooted in your bedroom, rifling through knicker drawers and whatnot, finding dildos etc., and after some silence from yourselves now re-enters your life and tries to take over your house. She needs removing from your life, for good. Would I be the asshole if I stopped all support now that my sister is pregnant with number 2? My younger sister is yet again pregnant. She is 18 and this will make baby number 2. She is very excited and made a cute announcement party for my parents and me. All three of us were just giving each other hard eye contact the entire time. None of us are happy or think this is a good idea. I'm 99 sure it was planned. She's 4 months in already, so it's a bit too late to be talking about alternative options. Obviously my parents are talking to her about it and next steps. But for me, I don't think I want to be involved with either children anymore. Teen pregnancies suck, but they do happen. For the first one I stayed local for college. I didn't move out, so they had the extra support and income. Heck, I was even working extra hours to help support financially. The first one was a happy little accident, but this second one feels like a massive slap in the face. Mentally, I feel done. I've had enough. They aren't my babies and they were not my choice. My sister's having a hard time as she was expecting everything to continue the same and for us to be a big happy family. My parents have already had a big chat and put their foot down, telling her that she needs to sort herself out and contribute a lot more. She's come to me and told me she thought they would be happy for her and that she doesn't like their attitude. She doesn't even know my opinions yet. I needed some time to collect myself, otherwise I would have thrown a full-on hissy fit at her. But I think I am going to move out. I want to stop giving her money and giving her my time and energy babysitting and picking up the odd jobs that are involved with a baby in the house. Would I be the asshole if I just stopped? They aren't my babies and they were not my choice. Exactly. She's come to me and told me she thought they would be happy for her and that she doesn't like their attitude. Because she is acting entitled. She should be grateful. Your help is a huge favor, not a right. Where is the father? You don't have to take responsibility for her children. Her body, her choice, her life, her responsibility. And the father's. Not the asshole. Oh, I'd really love to have another little baby. It'll be cool. My family will provide for me, money, babysitting, etc. Yes, time for a reality check for this immature mother-to-be. You've done your bit, time for her to accept her responsibilities. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your sister feels entitled to your support, which you don't owe her. She got pregnant, not you, and against probably everything else screaming in her face that it's a bad idea. Your parents put their foot down and now you should as well. Not the asshole. Good heavens, 2 babies at 18 and she thought everyone would just be happy for her? She's in cloud cuckoo land. Not your babies. Not your choice. Not your problem. Perhaps if you step away, she'll realize that she has to step up. Info. What about the baby daddy eyes? What is she doing for a living? What are her plans? Like the heck? Absolutely not the asshole. It was actually very kind from you to even have worked extra hours to support her, taking into account that no matter how much of an accident it was the first time, it had nothing to do with you. I'm afraid she took it for granted, though. Sounds like if her too young brain thought that having a baby is the perfect ticket for getting others' support. It isn't. And again, you have nothing to do with this. It's never a must take responsibility for other people's bad choices. Not the asshole. She needs to learn that having children is a massive responsibility and she can't put the burden on family. It's wonderful that you and parents helped her out the first time, but that doesn't mean you should continue because she chose to get pregnant again. If she needs money, she should take the baby daddy eyes to court to get child support and find a way to get a job. Not your child, not your responsibility, go get your own life. Not the asshole. Where's the man that she keeps letting impregnate her? People like this always wanna fall back on a village, but will never hold the actual father of their children accountable. It's really sad. Good Lord, please move out and have your own life. Not the asshole, not your circus, not your monkeys. If your parents decide to keep financing her, it's their choice, but don't put your life on hold because of her bad decisions. Not the asshole. You're completely right that these aren't your children and aren't your responsibility. If you want to move and no longer pay for children that aren't yours, you have every right to do so. Not the asshole. She is living her life and you need to be living yours. If she can't deal with the children without the support of the family, she shouldn't have planned to have another one. It is crazy, selfish and entitled. Not the asshole. X200B. Run as fast as you can, and if you can't do that, then back your parents' play of insisting she sort herself out and start contributing more. A mantra of I am not your bank, I am not your boyfriend, and I am not your babysitter might well come in handy. X200B. As an aside, why do these people having kids they can't support always expect everyone around them to be happy? Not the asshole. Her kids, her responsibilities. Not the asshole. Regardless of the choices your sibling makes, you have the right to enjoy your own youth and build your own future and family if you so choose. It's not about what you owe her or any obligations you may feel as an aunt. It's about what you owe yourself at this stage in your life. Not the asshole. Don't light yourself on fire to keep your sister warm. Not the asshole. Go live your own life. Your sister made the decision to have children, not you. Don't sacrifice your life for her. Where is the dads? Are they involved, as they should be? That is a responsibility of the parents. Not the asshole. You are a great sister, but this burden is not yours. Live your own life. If you feel compelled to help and have money left over each month to help them, all good. Otherwise, don't feel guilty. This is on your sister and baby daddy. Oh, I think your sister would continue to pop out kiddos as long as she knows she's not going to shoulder it alone. And she's bound to know that this arrangement wasn't going to last forever, and even the best families help but with boundaries as a single mother, and she needs to step up. What is she going to do when she is 30? Expect everyone to put their lives on hold and that you continue to live at home for her sake? Not the asshole. I appreciate that she and the babies are family, however they are not your responsibility to look after. She chose to have these children and therefore she should look after them. Not the asshole. How selfish of her. If the happy little family was her idea, maybe talk with the happy family before getting preggers again? Not the asshole. Her children are her responsibility. Don't let her continue to think that you'll be the one supporting her decisions. I would move out and live the way you want if I were you. You deserve to be happy and do what you want with your life. X200B. Edit grammar. Not the asshole. Her kids, her responsibilities. I am sorry for the kids, but they are not yours. Go live your life. Not the asshole. This is not your responsibility. If she's old enough to be popping kids out, she's old enough to know the repercussions that come along with it, and it makes me wild that people just expect others to handle their mistakes. She's done an adult act. She can deal with the adult responsibilities that come with it. Not the asshole. Your sister clearly got used to the idea that your family would take care of her kids, so having another one wouldn't affect her. It isn't on you to take care of them. She and the baby's father need to figure this out. Not the asshole. Not your mistakes, not your responsibility. Your sister is an adult and needs to take care of her own kids. Go live your life and save your money for things you want. Not how you helped once. Don't stretch yourself thin. Leave and build your life. She has the children and she needs to shoulder the responsibility. They can be happy for her but do not have to give her money. Not the asshole. Because you and your parents help her with first baby, now she just think you will help with second baby too. It not your fault or your parents. Your sister shouldn't try for more baby until she have stable income. If you help this time she will try to have more baby. Not the asshole. Her kids are her responsibility. You shouldn't live taking care of them forever. You have your own life to live. You've done enough at this point. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. You've done more than enough already.